Today I'm making some very modern style candlesticks. You start by, with a pair of compasses, cutting out a silver disc, mark it out on the silver sheet, then cut it out just with a pair of snips like this, and then just go over to the tree trunk and block them up to get them to this shape here. This is the base for the candlesticks, very modern design. They're going to come right up like this here, and just got to hammer them out slightly more on the tree trunk. It's done just like with a blocking hammer like this. That's near about as I want them now. I'm going to put it onto a different stake, cut a hole in here and get the silver to dish this particular way before I make the central stand of it. So carry on doing a little bit more blocking and then I'll cut that little hole out. That's it. That's as far as I need to go with that process. You can see the hole cut in the top of the candlesticks, and I've started to dish the one on the right hand side now the opposite way. So the problem with this, that the silver's gone very hard, so I'm going to anneal it. Let's get it red hot, plunge it into cold water, and it'll soften it so that I can then get the correct shape. So you can just see the difference between the two of them here. Now that's done, just let it cool off slightly, pick it up with the tweezers, and then here, anneal it straight away by plunging into the cold water. Now I'll take that out of there, put it in some hot water, and it'll just remove all the flux. Right, now the bottom half of the candlestick, one section of it, I've annealed this, and you can see that I've put it into the hot water and it's removed all the flux. It's very important to work clean, because if there's any flux or dirt on it, as you hammer it with a mallet or a hammer, you transfer the dirt and that actually into the silver. So now this is quite soft. I can put it onto this little stake here and go with this mallet and then start to get the item completely true. You can now see this section here is getting together right. So I'll carry all the way around till it's completely accurate, and then after that I'll do the same with the other section. That's finish just blocking with it, and then I'll start on this stake here. It's like a sort of mushroom shape, and then I'll anneal it and do the same process with that one. You'll see the design of these, they're very, very modern. It's something I designed probably, I don't know, best part of 30 years ago, and they're very, very popular. And the last pair that we had has been sold, and I've got another pair of these on order for a client. So I'll carry on with that, and then you can see the item finished to the next little bit of video. With that annealing process, it's made it so easy now to get the correct shape. The beauty of it is that when you finish doing with the mallet, I'll then go with a very fine hammer that's slightly concave shaped to fit this, and the silver will go very hard again. It's important to leave the finished product very, very hard indeed. The tension is back in the silver. One of the reasons why, if ever the pieces of silver that you make get dropped, they won't get damaged. This is one of the beauties of it. So do a bit more here. Right, the basic shape now is nearly there, so I'll come right to the very edge and then I'll do the same with the other half. This has still got some little fine planishing marks. These are very, very fine hammer marks to get the correct shape. I'll just get those out after because I want a completely smooth, lovely modern style. But what I've done is I've made the central section, the stem, that's going to be silvered soldered down onto here, like this, and that will then give the candlestick a little bit of the correct height and everything else that I want. What I've done is that to mark for this section here, I've marked out this central section on the silver sheet, and I'll cut that out just with a pair of snips, and then I'll fold the edges of this around, and then I'll silver solder this all the way down the middle when I've got it correct. To do that, I use tiny little stakes like these that fit inside to hammer the silver around, or if not, I've got stakes like these, like this T-shape, in all different sort of sizes and diameters, so I can then hammer the silver around to get it absolutely perfect. So what I'm going to do now is join the two sections together. That's silver solder this section here right down to the middle. When that's done, I'm going to use what they call an annealing solder, very high silver content and very high melting point, so you won't see the joint in it at all when it's finished. So you could see now that the style of them, very modern style, and this is my own design that I designed really about 30 years ago. So this is a pair that's on order that I'm just finishing off now. Now that's all silver soldered on. Put that in some hot water to remove the flux. Now I have the base and the central column silver soldered together. The next thing I'm going to do now is make the sconce. That's the little piece that goes around here, and the central section that'll take the candle. So I've got a little piece of 1.2mm silver sheet here, and I've worked out the diameter I need to go onto the top. So I'll mark this out now just with a pair of compasses, scribe the circle out, and then I'll cut that out ready to start to block it to give it a slightly dished effect. So now we have this circle on here. Just cut it out with a pair of snips like this. It's about at the limit now of what I can cut out with snips because it is quite thick, this particular piece. So just finished doing that. Right, just get this completely accurate. Right, now this is ready to be blocked to go onto the top here with the little central piece coming out. Now I have the top sconce ready to be silver soldered onto the candlestick, and then after that I'm just going to apply the other little piece. That will be just dropped in and soldered on at the same time. So put a bit of heat on that and start to get it to go. Here is the finished candlestick. I hope you've all enjoyed watching me make it. This is now completely finished, and alongside of it is the second one to make the pair that's on order. But I'm also working on another commission at the same time, so I've got to just carry on with that, which is a little silver plough for a local family. This is quite unusual to see. My son Simon's made these candlesticks alongside the one that you've been watching me make in the video. They're rather completely different design to mine, but they are rather nice as well. While I've been working on the candlesticks, I've also been making this for a client. It's a model of an old Guernsey plough that would have been used in the islands around about 1907. Probably very similar to lots of ploughs that's out there, but a lot of work that's gone in to produce this piece, and the people who've been to see it, they're over the moon with it. In the background you've got like where the plough would have been ploughing the field, and the wooden base here, it's a very rough effect. It's beautiful actually to touch the wood because it represents the grass that you would get in the field, but it shows you what can be done in the silversmith's art. But I'm now going to go ahead and finish the other candlesticks. Thank you very much for watching, and if you feel that the quality hasn't been as good as what it should be in places, it's really just because I'm filming them on my own little phone. but it gives people a good idea. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Bye bye for now.